is going to be Stephanie Egger versus Luana Santos. This fight is, I think it's going to be an interesting clash of similar styles. Stephanie Egger, 8-4. She is 3-2 in her last five. She's coming off a loss where she got knee barred by Irina uh, Alekseyeva, I believe, and she is going to be 35 years old, fighting against Luana Santos, 6-1. She's 5-1 in her last five, coming off of that brawling knockout over Juliana Miller. She's going to be 23, so there's going to be a 12-year age gap in this fight, and both of them are pretty much similar height and reach right now. Odds for this fight: Luana Santos is a minus 173 on Bet Online, and she is opened up as a minus 210. So a slight dog push on Stephanie Egger there. Gerard, what are your thoughts about Egger versus Santos here?
So both of these fighters, they're both judo players. So they have the judo in their back pocket. But Stephanie Egger is the more experienced MMA fighter here. She's 35. Luana's only 23. So that's a huge difference there. So it would depend on, do you go with the experience or the one who's just getting their feet wet? And for me personally, I think I would lean with the experience in this one. I don't think I've seen Luana have show enough in her last win against a UFC fighter who some would say shouldn't be a UFC caliber fighter in Juliana Miller. Um, and yeah, Stephanie Egger, she looked great against Eileen Perez, and that was a real UFC fighter who had real posed a real threat. Luana Santos, I couldn't really rate her striking too much in her last fight either, because Juliana Miller kind of just faded away in that first round. Um, I think I'm more closer to a dog or pass here. And one thing I will say is the odds might be skewed because of this might be like a Tabitha Ritchie effect going on here. And uh, I would say Luana's not weak in the looks department, so the odds might not be the most accurate, I would say. But yeah, yeah, I would pick up Edgar and the underdog as an underdog here. That's my pick.
For sure. Yeah. Like you and I mentioned that this is going to be a matchup of two judo practitioners. Egger, first off, she's a probably a judo only practitioner at this point. She has good judo throws, trips, takedowns. She lands 3 takedowns per 15 minutes, has a 40% takedown accuracy. She can't get taken down herself, though. She has a 15% takedown defense there. She does like to push her opponents against the cage and then implement her judo and drag her opponents down. Haggard also does a good job of hunting for subs once she's on top position on the ground. However, on the feet, just going back to the feet right now, Hager has low volume of the feet. Nothing noteworthy about her stand-up style. I really do think that she's all judo subs and maybe a sprinkle of ground and pound. Nothing much else to offer. I don't think that she's also well versed on the bottom position as well as she is on the top. If you look at her fight against Tracy Cortez, she was held down and controlled basically for like 9 minutes from only 3 takedowns from Tracy Cortez. So that shows me that she has a bit of trouble also getting up from the takedowns as well. Santos fights similarly to Egger. She prefers to use the judo for her takedown attempts. While she doesn't have the best striking technique, I don't think that she has an issue in getting to brawls, trading shot for shots. She has decent power and aggressiveness, as you've seen in her KO win against Juliana Miller. And I will talk about that point that you mentioned. I mean, Juliana Miller, probably not a UFC caliber fighter, right? However, as we saw with her fight against Veronica Hardy, I don't think that means that we can automatically dismiss, people getting wins over, right? And let's just do MMA math right now. Veronica Hardy went to a decision with Juliana Miller. Pretty, good decision win. Luana Santos knocked her out, for better or worse. She did outstrike her, even though it was more of like a brawl kind of style, trading shots for shots. Juliana Miller's chin did give up to the power and aggressiveness of Luana Santos. Um, Having said all that, though, I will say that my pick is Santos via sub. I think that she'll probably hurt Eggert on the feet at some point and then drag Eggert down to the ground. But I'm probably going to pass on this fight entirely because I don't know if I could lay that heavy of a juice on Santos yet, just given her, lack of experience, if you will. I mean, she only has had 7 fights on MMA. Stephanie Egger, not much more than that. I mean, she has 12. But I think that I just need to see a little bit more on Luan Santos before having her as almost 2-1 favorite against a UFC veteran here. So pick here is Santos by sub, but I am also probably going to pass on this fight here.